so glad you're here. Thanks for watching this video. So by now you have read the 8 symptoms of proving energy. Now first, like I said in the text, don't freak out. Don't like, oh my gosh, I'm so messed up. Don't do that. I really believe that when you have awareness, you have choice. And so a lot of the work I do is just to bring awareness, just to say, hey, guess what? You're not messed up. You're not lazy, dumb, incapable, but you got some stuff, and I can show you where it is and mostly how to flip it. Okay. So this video is just basically say, okay, here's the 8 ways that this proving energy stuff is showing up. And I'm going to give you some tips because I don't want to just go, hi, here's where you're messed up. Good luck with that. I always like to say, okay, and here's something you can try. All right. The first one, the dreaded overgiving. I don't know if that's mainly a woman thing. I'm sure men do it too, but whew, that I have to give more and more and more and more. And so when you get healthy, or when you have a mentor like me that comes along and says, really? You putting all that in? Do you really need to? So the thing is, I want you to just ask yourself, like, okay, look at an area of your life, perhaps your business or your service, or even how you be with your kids, or even how you are in your volunteer work, right? What's the fear? Like if you would dial back. Like I know when I first started, oh my gosh, I would give like private time. I would give like programs on selling, and I would give it this and give this and this. It's like I had to pack everything in so people would be like, whew, I'm getting a good deal. And I'm not saying to be chintzy and or to give a bad product or less of yourself. But when it comes from the motivation, like if 3 things would be good, I'll give them 17, right? If that comes from the energy of, and if I only give them 3, oh my gosh, then it's going to prove that I what? So what would the fear be? So the first thing is really tap in, get really, really, really clear, get really aware of like, what would I fear if I didn't overgive, if I wasn't constantly like, I used to joke with my friends, like, sign up for my coaching and I'll wash your car and, clean your house, and not really, but that's what overgiving feels like, right? I have to keep doing all of this to get you to love me and validate me and want to pay and all that stuff. It's exhausting. So first thing is ask what you would fear. And then if that comes up, let's just say they won't think it's of good value, or they won't sign up. Then the next thing you go is it really true? Is it really true? And the third thing you say is there anybody that I can model and say, huh, like they're doing it the way I'd like to do it if I didn't have this proving energy thing. And there's lots of, I'm in the coaching business, lots of coaches have figured out a way to really leverage their time without giving so much private time. They have memberships, they have other products, they have other things to do. So if you want to examine your fear, ask, is it really true that would happen? And then who is a good demonstration? That's called modeling. Who is a good demonstration? So somebody's doing it, and then you get into action. Okay, the second one is, if you're not sure of the value you bring. Now, if you're newer in business, you might not be sure. Or if you had, a job over here and you've only been working in your current position for a little while, you might not know. Or if you have shifted things, you don't have the 10,000 hours of experience. You don't have the 500 clients. So back in the day, so remember I used to be a psychotherapist, then I did life coaching. And then I crazily jumped into business coaching. And so when I was brand new, I was doing all these sales calls, and I was trying to sell, and I couldn't. I just sucked. It was terrible because I didn't have the confidence, right? And I was so frustrated. Like, why can I not sell? And I really understood that I didn't feel like I was enough as a business coach. And so I said, okay, so what has to happen? And here's the thing. If you don't ask this question, you'll just be on this hamster wheel of, well, that's not enough. That's not enough. Like my students and clients are like, I need another certification. Well, I need to do this. And it's like that. It's never enough. It's never enough, right? It's exhausting. So what I was able to say is, okay, when I have more time in the business, I'm like, nope, that wouldn't be it. Okay, if I made more money, nope, that wasn't it. If I had more clients, no, that wasn't it. And then I said, when it feels masterful, in coaching as I did with therapy, ding, 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 then I'll be enough. Okay. It was a finite thing. It was a done deal. But I'm like, okay, what then will it take to feel more masterful? See, that's a tangible thing, not just it's never enough, not the hamster wheel. So literally take yourself through that exercise. If you're not sure of your value, when will you be enough? If you do not ask that question, those little gremlins, those little mindset voices inside your head are going to be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. So you really need to answer that for yourself. Okay, the next one. Sometimes you're just never satisfied with your work product or your activity. Like, the persons that gets, 5 A's and 1 A minus are like, oh God, I suck, I'm a failure. Hopefully you're not that. But sometimes we have that in our heads like that, like it is just not enough. Like, especially like if you're writing something, oh my gosh, when do you stop? When do you just go, good enough? Done is good. This is good enough. Because there's always, it's not enough, it's not enough. And so the exercise for this one is find the part of you that is generating that, right? Because maybe there's sometimes, how to explain this? There are different ego states, right? There could be a part of you that's like, that's pretty good. Like I could push send on that, or I could, done on that one. But there might be this other part that's just like, wait a minute, it's gonna da 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 da. You always want to listen to the resistance. You want to listen to the voices in your head that are basically telling you the things that are taking you in a wrong direction, right? And I will just, move off of the proving stuff to tell you really quickly that your brain is not your friend. It's literally wired, like literally your wiring in your brain is to keep you safe, small, and stuck. The brain's desire is to keep everything comfortable and familiar. And if you've been kind of an overachieving workaholic, prover, codependent, helper person for years, this crazy redhead is going, wait, work less, you're good, quit things, raise your rates. Like your brain's going to be like, oh, hell no. so, so, so very often, and I'll talk a little more about this one in a minute, but very often what you hear in your head isn't really even true, but it fires out based on your chemistry. And so we go, oh my God, well, my head's telling me that. So then we act on it, as opposed to, isn't that interesting? That's that thing again, that thing. So literally find the part of you that doesn't think what you're doing is enough and talk to it, negotiate with it. What are you afraid of? Like literally imagine there's like a whole other person in front of you and you're having a dialogue. That's a really powerful exercise. Okay. Sometimes we prove ourselves with overgiving and like lots of activity. It's sort of similar to the first one, right? Just because I just got to do more activity, go, 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 those folks. And I feel like underneath that is the like, I'm not enough until, I'm not enough because of, I'll be enough when, and it's like a lot of these, they intersect a lot, right? And the exercise for this one is to understand that that's probably a shame related impulse for you. Whenever you have trauma, whenever you have difficulties in your situation in your family, trauma usually does it. And you can just define trauma however you want that. But shame is often the, who I am is not good enough. There's a concept called equal in worth. And just by virtue of your birthright, we're all equal, right? We made it. Ooh, we got a pulse. We're here. We made it. But shame tells you you're not enough. And this brings me to the next one, is the comparison, right? The tendency to compare. See, what shame does, when you walk in the room, shame looks at somebody and says, well, they're smarter, they're thinner, they have more money, oh, they're way better. And shame always pushes you down. Shame always gets you to the point of either they'll figure out you're not really all that, or the facade of, oh my God, you got it. Like, I lived this. I really get it. Like, I had to always be perfect. I had to, like, be always funny and on and smart and helpful. And good God, I became a therapist, right? It makes sense. but when you're not enough, you have to prove your very existence, and you have to prove who you are and what you know and what you're worth. And so if you feel that, basically, that's just shame. And shame is designed, remember, to keep you safe, small, stuck, connected to the trauma and or whatever happened. And so the thing is it true? So if I were to say, how does God see you? Or how does your beloved see you? Or how does your dog see you? I don't think cats adore owners as much as dogs do. I'm just a dog person. But if I look at you, if I looked at you with the eyes of love, if I looked at you and just said, oh my God, your spirit is so beautiful. I see in you such magnificence. Sometimes you got to go, what would Therese tell me right now? What would my partner tell me about who I am? What would my dog, if my dog could talk, they'd tell me that they love that shit out of me, right? So when you start the comparison, when you start like, I got to do so much more because it's driven by shame to prove, you also want to know that everybody has their own lessons. Some people seemingly have super easy lives. Some people, they might have weight issues, but they have no problems with money. Some people have great health, but then they're struggling with money. Like it's just everybody's got their place that their soul shows up to learn. And so you can't really compare what you feel broken or less than with how somebody looks on the outside, because it's not their lesson necessarily, right? So you really want to stay out of the comparisons and just tap into, how does the divine see me? How does my beloved see me? How does my beautiful child see me, right? That's the truth of you, sometimes more than the truth that your own head tells you. Okay, another way proving energy shows up is that dreaded, I can't quit. I can't. Oh my God, I said, I gave my commitment. Anybody ever feel like that? I think I was president of like 2 different organizations, just going, oh my God, like I'm kind of overwhelmed, but I gave a commitment. And I'm not saying to be flaky. I'm not at all advocating that you don't be your word, because that's a really important value for me. But who are you putting first, right? I was on the board over here and I was volunteering over there and doing that over there. And I was exhausted and I had little time for my family and my loved ones. And I just was like, wait, that's cool and all, and I'm serving because I value serving. I don't know what it's trying to prove, but not being able to quit is kind of wacky, right? And so something I learned years ago when I was a client in a therapist office was, you mean grown-ups can quit? Like, what? I didn't know that, because when we're always having to prove that we are worthy or deserve, we don't quit. We're overachieving. We're volunteering for more. Are you kidding me? And so I want you to really tap in, like right in this moment, just like kind of like drop in your body and just go, is there something that I can let go of? A commitment, an engagement, a thing I volunteered for, or a thing I said I would do, that I'm just like, either you don't have the time, the energy, just things are more important. Is there anything like that? Because if you didn't have to prove anything to yourself or to others, you just say, oh, God, that's not going to work for me. That's a big one. So email me and let me know what you're quitting, because that's a big one. If you can just, like no is a complete sentence. What? We always like, well, I can't, but I'm sorry. And we have to validate and justify and get all goofy, as opposed to, you know what? It just isn't going to work for me right now. And if you have a solid sense of self, that's okay. If you have to prove to yourself, that's going to be that'll bite you in the head, but that's okay. You're getting this, right? All right. And the last one is, what about, like, do you ever feel like, God, I'm living somebody else's life? Like, if it were just me, I'd feel like this is good. Like, I'll give you an example. In the coaching industry, everybody's like, oh, create a 6-figure coaching business. What if you freaking don't want a 6-figure coaching business? What if it is not yours to do? You have no money, doesn't motivate you. You don't need that. But there's kind of like shame, like, what's wrong with you? Like, aren't you on the 6-figure path? Scale your business, double your revenue, really? And so I really want you to look at, are the things that you're striving for, are the things that you are like saying yes to, that you're giving your freaking life energy to, are those things even your own? And if they are, awesome. Just make sure you're not running them with proven energy, right? But if they're not, you gotta quit, or you gotta amend it, right? So do you notice everything in here is really about being aware, understanding, like, hmm, why am I doing this? So I want you to literally like watch yourself regularly. Like, why did I do that? Why did not, don't become like obsessed with it, but you might want to write down some journal prompts. Like, what's the resistance? Why can't I say no to things? Why do I feel like if I don't give every last drop of myself, people aren't going to stick around? You want to figure that out, because that will drain you. You will not be able to create your big mission in life if you have all this stuff weighing you down. Alrighty, so I hope you have enjoyed this video. And again, if you have any questions, or if you just want to go, hey Therese, cool video, or hey Therese, this is what I learned and this is what I'm quitting, I would love to hear from you. So it's ts@thereseskelly.com. All right, peace and blessings. Take care now. Bye.